company is going okay, so welcome all. So we would be going through each and every details of A2019 in every steps and how it works and what are the different components of A2019, how it is different from other automation tools, especially 8A11, so which we talked about in our last session, and also then we would go hands on, like maybe I would give some kind of explanation. I would show you something, how it should be done, and then I would give a small kind of exercises which you can try at your end. And if you get stuck, I would it's not that I can do everything for you, but I would definitely help you to solve that as far as possible within the time allotted. And I don't think that would be any issues. You can learn because all of you have some kind of programming background. So, having said that, the first thing which I was discussing the other day, so though it was like Automation Anywhere 11 version, but it is nothing different than A 2019 in the sense that the control room is still there. So the control room would be there, and it is the primary component of Automation Anywhere. So what needs to be done first is you have to go to this Automation Anywhere site, and you have to create your login, and from there you have to log in with your email ID and password. So once you have done that, you would go into a page like somewhere here, and from there you can see you would get the downloads. You can get the download. So I know that every one of you would be can easily handle this, but as it is new to you, so I am going through it once so that it helps you. So from here you would get the latest of Automation Anywhere 2019, whichever bundle you want to download. So this is currently this one, a 2019.13. So that's what you need to download. So, but before download, please refer to the documentation once, which you would get here, regarding the control room requirements, whatever are required for the control room on basis of like for the OS and for the hard disk and for the RAM. Those specifications are there. This is pretty high end specification which they support. They say that it is like Windows 16 and then 16 GB RAM, and then like 100 GB hard disk kind of thing, free space. So that is recommended. But even with a less kind of lesser kind of configuration, you can install it, but the performance would be degraded. So it is recommended to use their recommendations only, but you can go ahead and try at least at your end. So what I can suggest is that if you have some so everybody don't need to install this control room. So maybe out of a group of 3 or 4 or 5, one you can select one of your high-end machines. If you have, you can install in one machine this control room, and then that control room you can share across with 5 persons. So that is how you can use that. So when you have installed this Automation Anywhere control room, so you would be asked for a admin credential. So you would give the admin user ID, whatever, like test admin, anything. So see, I have created one for my control room. So this is test admin. So I would show you, like after you install the Automation Anywhere 2019 in the machine, it would give you a URL. So this URL is you can make it a public URL. You can make it accessible from your network, within your network. So, and if it is your local machine, it would be always accessible. So suppose this is the URL which you get. So by this what I am connecting to is a instance of Automation Anywhere control room, which is HTTPS, like secured. So in your case, you can either set it up as HTTP or HTTPS. So generally, these all things would be handled by your IT team. You don't need to bother about it. But still, for your knowledge, I am saying all this, that once it is installed, ultimately what you would get a URL. So this is the URL for the control room. So you can use any browser of your choice, and you can hit this control room URL, and this page should open up. So once this page open up, you would give the credential for the admin which you might have created, because during installation time you would it would ask for a admin. So that has to be registered, and then you can log in. So once you log in with the admin, the first thing it would say, because this is not a new login ID which I have created. This is an older one, so it has not asked me. But the first thing it would ask here is to change your password. So it would ask you to change the password. So you can set the password, and then you would have some security questions to be answered. You can set the security questions and the answers, and then you can save the password and log in. So once you have set the password and re-log in, then it would bring you to this kind of a screen. So this
Okay.
is what we call, yeah.
Koshik, I have a question.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
when I try to download the automation AA 2090, there is two files: installation setup and security and compliance.
Right.
Uh, which file I can install
So
more?
it would be the setup one.
Setup or
Installation
installation
setup.
setup.
Yes. So
What about
setup
the
one,
security and compliance?
no. So say security and compliance, you have to install. Once you have installed the setup file, then you would install that one.
And that means I must download the two files, yes?
The entire folder you should download. I would show you.
Show me.
So
Seems
this
it will
is,
be the guidelines, right? Documentation.
yeah. So you can see the document. So, yeah, I would show that. Let me just show this. So this is the, see,
Yes,
two folders are there, right?
yes.
So this is the installation setup. So what
Okay,
you can do, I would be coming on this. Like, you don't need the entire setup for this. So if you are installing on a Windows machine, you only need the Windows setup.
okay. What about the third and fourth one?
The third and fourth one are the AI sense. So this needs to be there in your installation folder, because this would be used later for some other purposes, which we would discuss later.
Oh,
Similarly is the scanner. So you don't need to worry about these at this point of time, but those would be required at a later point of time.
okay.
So only
For
thing is that the Windows setup you can copy. This one, this one is the main thing which you need to download.
download.
Yeah. And Linux setup is another one, because if you have a machine where a Linux box, and you want your control room not to be on a Windows machine but on a Linux
Yeah, it's
machine.
like Linux environment or virtual box, anything, right?
Yes. So Automation Anywhere is the first RPA provider who has this support. Like, you can install the control room on either Linux or Windows, because all other RPA providers like UiPath and Blue Prism primarily,
Mhm.
they only support the Windows. So they needs Windows for the control room installation. But this is the advantage which A2019 brought with it.
Your
Even
size here, your file size 3 GB, but now our side 1.9. The same?
no,
No,
so
it's
this is
another one.
Okay, this is
It's
this
this
is
is for
the
inside
Linux.
the
Linux one.
folder.
Okay, this
Inside
is
the
for
folder.
Linux.
Mm. So you don't need the Linux one. You
Yes,
download
I
these
need the
three
Windows setup. Yes.
Windows and try that one. So that should work.
Okay.
And if you and
Another question. Can I install the control room for 2090 in the virtual machine for version 11?
provided you have those requirements met, like it is It has 16 GB RAM. It has like 200 GB of hard disk free, and your machine is fast. Then you can install, obviously. But if you have two, like, there is no restriction that when A11 control room is in one machine, you cannot install A2019. There is no such restriction, but it can make the machine slow. So
And,
if
Okay.
and
your
no, no,
machine,
no. He is asking about the virtual machine, right?
Yes, virtual machine for training.
Virtual
That's it.
machine, okay. Remote machine, that means.
yeah, so doesn't matter whether it is a remote machine or a local machine.
Okay.
If
Mm.
that machine has A20 A11 already installed, and you want to install A2019, even if it is a virtual machine, it would make things slower.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to the next thing is, what I want to show you before I proceed is like,
Sorry,
when you,
do you want from us now to install the control room or later on? Just
I didn't get what you want.
do you want from us now to install the control room or later
No,
on?
no. We are
No, you
not recommending. We are not recommending. If you want to install, everyone need not to install the control room on their machine.
see. I would suggest not to install the control room, because you only, as of now, you would need only few features of the control room, which I would show you. And rather you can use the community version for your initial days, because community version is a almost a full-fledged version. And the
Okay.
control room they provide is hosted in automation anywhere environment. You have access to the control room in some respect, but not fully. But you can actually work on the boards, creation of the boards, running of the boards, so everything is available. So as of now, I won't recommend to go deep into the control room part, but rather I would just show you what are the things available in control room, which you, if you have time or if you have machine space, you can definitely try. But it is not an absolutely must as at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so what I was telling is like, if you go to this home, there you would see documentation. So this is the product documentation, docs.automationanywhere.com. So here you would see every aspect of it, like install and configure the product. So if you are installing and configuring the product, then you would definitely get help from here. So see, pre-installation, what all are needed for pre-installation, what is needed for installation, post-installation, validation, really. So if you would get everything here in the documentation portal. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's move to the control room. So as I have mentioned, so this is the control room when you log in for the first time after setting your password. So you would be getting this kind of view. So this is a control room view of your A2019 control room. So what you have, you see, you have some kind of dashboard. So this is a dashboard which speaks about some kind of matrices, like whatever you have executed, how many bots have failed, how many bots have succeeded, what are the features you have used. So things like that are generally shown here. Then in the activities, you would be shown the what are the activities in progress, what are the activity schedule. So we would come into every details later on. I am just giving an overview today. So then what are the triggers available, if you have any triggers. And then if you have any bots created, so those would be coming here. So see, if you see the historical activity, you would see like this: some has passed, some has failed. So what is the bot name where it has failed, what is the bot name where it has passed. So this some kind of audit kind of information which it gives. Then you see, you would have devices listed. So devices are nothing but your machine, like the machine from which you are connected to your control room. So those are called devices. So on the devices, you would actually build the bots or build your automation, and you would run your automation. So these are called devices. So similarly, you can have a device pool. So what is a pool? So pool is like nothing but a combination or a cluster of devices. So where number of devices would be present, and you see, like you can actually schedule, or you can set the pool on a round robin basis or on a time slicing basis, whatever you want. So what are the devices you see here in the pool? I have these two devices. So these two devices are in the pool. So whenever a job is there, don't get confused or overwhelmed by whatever I am telling, because we would get into details of all this, but this is just an overview. So whenever you are running a job, it is not that always one machine would be free. So if you have a pool of machines, then if any one of the machine is free, then it is ready to take the job and do it. So that's the purpose of device pool. Then these workload means queues. So we would come to it later. You can create queues, you can work with queues. And the most important thing is the administration. So in administration, you see, you have users and you have roles. So what is the difference between users and roles? So the same philosophy applies here also, like in any other application. So roles are like some kind of combination of or permutation, combination permutation of uh, some what should I say, like rules, which or some activities which you are allowed to do, and for which you have authorization. So that is the role. So if you go to the roles, you would see many default roles created. So what are the default roles? So see, this is the admin role, this is the basic role, this is the bot developer role, this is the bot insight role. So all these you see are system defined role. So these are all system defined role. Like automation anywhere has by default given you these roles. And now we have, like I have created few other roles. So these are custom roles. So I have created few roles, combining various options available, and these are the custom roles. So you can have custom roles created, and you can directly use like system defined roles also. So these are roles. Next comes users. So when you say user, when you create a user or create a user, you would see that you would get uh, see. So this is the username. You would need to set up password for that, or you would need the confirmation email for that. You can set a device associated with that pool, with that user. And but these are optional. It is not necessary that you have to. You might want to, or you might not want to. But what you need to do is you have to assign roles to the user. So when you are creating the roles without any role, when you are creating a user without a role, the user is just useless. Like you can't do anything, not even you can log into the a control room, because at least it should have one role, otherwise it is meaningless. So when you select a role, and then this button gets enabled, so if you click on this role would come here. So that's how we assign roles to a user. So once roles are assigned, then you would I would show you with another one, like when roles are assigned, then you would get an option to save the changes. So once you save the changes, that user with that particular role gets created. And then you can suppose, now I have created that other user, and I want to log in with that user. So this is the user I have created, I have given some role, and now I am logging in with that user. So as soon as I log in, the user changes to this one. And you see, you see, um like if you noticed or not, I don't know, in the previous test admin, these bots was not there, because it was just an admin. And now I can see these bots. So what are these bots? So these bots are actually the programs which I have written for automation. So this comes in. So because the difference is that the test admin didn't have a role which enabled it to see the bots or work on the bots. But this user has that kind of role. That's why I am saying it here. So this is just a small overview of the control room in that sense, but we would come into details because when we touch each of these topics later on, at every point we need to just show you what's happening in the background in the control room. So that way we would be touching this. But importantly, now see this is the control room URL which we have mentioned. So before A29, what used to happen was that this control room was already there. The only difference was that this control room was made to be installed in Windows machine only, but now they are supporting Windows and Linux. That's the only difference in the control room perspective. Otherwise, what was the second thing we needed, as I mentioned in the last session, was that a client. So that client needed to be installed. So that was a separate installation, and you had to install the client, and then you have to log into the client, and it would require some kind of time, some kind of effort, and then only you could have started your development. But now what happens, even you can, anybody of you can just take this URL or the community edition URL. So I would show you the community edition URL where you can get it. So even if you get to the community edition URL, you would see I would show you. That would be better. Just give me a second. See, this is the community trial.cloud.automation anywhere. So this is not, the control room is not with me. So it is with automation anywhere. And they have given me some credential, and I would just log into it. What happened? I think I forgot the password, but let me try once more. Yeah. So now you see it is logged in. So now I am logged in with a control room that is not in my control. I have not installed the control room, but they have shared me the URL, and they have shared me the details of the password, and then I can directly log into the control room from any browser. So it can be, and so I am logging in from a Chrome browser. I can also log in from IE. So the Chrome, IE, and Edge, these are all supported as of now for A2019. So you can just log into this to this control room from any browser. So nothing is needed as an installation. So you don't need to install anything. You can start right away. So that is a major advantage of A2090, zero installation, and it offers a totally cloud solution with what is called a SaaS model, software as a service. So this is the advantage. You can easily scale, you can make things robust. So those are all the advantages of cloud. Cloud is a major, like everything is in cloud now. So this is the first robotic process automation software which is used in the clouds. So
One
That
if
means
question,
you
you
please.
you can you can log in from your to your control room from my side.
Yes, the same question.
yes.
For example, if we have a project for customer X, the
Mm,
customer X, if they got the license
mm,
from the automation, so
mm,
they will have the username and the password for the control room for this customer, or
mm.
we need to build our bot, okay, through our user, and then to publish it on, let's say, with the customer. Yani.
No, so see the login you can log into the control room if you have the username password. But then, as I have mentioned, if you have the role, then only you can see the bots. But before that, you have to publish your bots. Whatever bots you develop, you need to publish those. Unless you publish those bots are in your private domain. So I would show you what does it mean. See, these are private, this is private. So all these bots which I have made, these are private, these are not public.
You mean the private for X project, right?
Private for this user.
For okay, for this user. Okay,
Yes.
let's
So,
say you have a new project with
hmm,
customer X. Okay,
hmm, hmm.
so my configuration and my bots and everything, where will be saved?
No,
Also in
so
the cloud by my
yeah,
user.
it would be saved in the cloud. If you, in the sense that if you are using a community version, that would be saved in the cloud. But if you are using a on-premises version of A2019, it would be in your local server where your automation anywhere control room resides.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay. So coming to that point, like if it is private, none of the members can see it, even if they log in into the same control room, unless I make it or publish it. So that's a different step, we would come at a later point. Okay. So what I was trying to say here, and why I won't recommend installing the control room as of now. You see, this is the control room which I have access to, and this is a community edition control room. So you can actually see all the parts like activities. You can see boards. You can see devices. You can see workloads. You can see. Only administration has some limitation because they have only given you the roles and created the user, and they have given you the user ID password which you are logging in with. You don't
From
have any rights to create a user or a role over here. So only that's the only limitation.
from the same file, from the same download file, we can install the community edition, or from another
No,
location.
no, the community edition does not require any installation actually. So community edition, I can show you.
Should to be
Okay.
cloud, right? URL only.
Yes, it would be only cloud. Just give me some time. Okay, so okay. See, if you go to start free trial, I think you would get the community edition. They would ask for your details like name, things like that. See, the community edition is free. You see this one, na? Are you seeing this one?
Yes.
Hello?
And this is will be advantage for the customer if they go or if they went for the community edition, they
Hmm.
will not charge any penny.
No, so you see, you would have some limitations. Your code would not reside on the reside on your premises. It would be in the cloud, and then you won't be able to publish and use freely. So community edition is only for student and for developers for trial. It is
Okay,
not
okay,
for enterprise use. Huh? So
okay,
that
okay.
is not recommended. You can't do it. That is a
Yes.
violation. So for your purpose, for the training purpose, you can obviously do. So you just go there, and if you start, it would ask you for some information from your side, and then it would you can they would send you a
Okay.
mail, and you would get started. So it is pretty simple. Community edition is pretty simple. You can start with it because otherwise there is no difference, you see. Okay, so I think this is going to expire the meeting now. This meeting is going to stop in few minutes, I think.
Yeah, we can connect using the same link project.
Okay.
Or
Okay, so
they need to confirm. They need to confirm. Fayez?
Yes.
Still you have any doubts on the same, we can connect immediately, or else for today we can stop the class.
I didn't get you. Repeat, please.
Till now we have covered the installation part and all, right?
What?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, you can connect. Syed, Faiz.
Yes,
By using the same link, you can
same
connect.
link. Yes, okay.
Yeah, Muhammad, you also.
Okay.
Okay, okay.